Sports Director Paul Gerke.
Shortly after 8 o'clock last night, Boise's own Kristen McGrath sped through the intersection at 9th and Main, finishing first in the women's pro event at the 26th Annual Twilight Criterium. But before the public could get a look at the final results, they were pulled down. A protest was filed by second-place finisher Allison Powers, claiming McGrath shouldn't have been given a free lap during the race. Apparently, there was some confusion around McGrath's involvement in a crash. Eventually, officials decided to give the win to Powers, sending McGrath plummeting to 29th place. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no. McGrath's team then pled their case to Criterium officials, explaining that Kristen was clipped in the crash but didn't fall. She simply broke a spoke. Rules allow for a free lap for mechanical repair, so once McGrath showed officials her damaged wheel, she reclaimed her first place finish and $4,000 of the prize purse. Powers maintained second. McGrath's Exigy teammate Teresa Cliff Ryan came in third. There was only one former champion in the field of the men's pro event, Hilton Clark, a native Australian. That's a bad Australian accent, who claimed the Twilight title in 2008. On and off rain showers slickened up the track, causing trouble for several riders. The finish was hotly contested, but Clark managed to seize the lead about halfway through the final straightaway here, earning his second Twilight Criterium victory and $4,000 to go along with it. Exigy's Carlos Alzate finished second. The most adorable races of the day, and perhaps the most competitive, took place in the early afternoon. It's the Kids Ride with Kristen Armstrong. Racers as young as 3 years old pedaled and walked and stumbled their way through a much shorter course alongside the Olympic gold medalist. There were hundreds of riders across 4 age groups, and when you're talking about that many kids on a course at once, there were bound to be some scrapes and boo-boos. Some of the more competitive participants even managed to finish ahead of Armstrong, showing that the future of the Criterium is alive and well.
It was not that hard, but it was pretty exhausting.
It was like she was a little too fast for me.
I cannot believe that in a year's time that my son Lucas will be out there. And I'm not competitive or anything, but I got some work to do because these kids are pretty fast.
Armstrong didn't compete in the women's pro event for good reason. She's heading to London in less than 2 weeks to represent her country in the Olympics. Kristen will be hoping to defend her 2008 gold medal in the time trial on August 1st. She'll also take part in the road race event on July 29th. A lot has changed for Armstrong since the Beijing Games. She's still on the mend from breaking her collarbone in late May. Plus, as she mentioned a moment ago, Kristen now has a 2-year-old to look after. The littlest Armstrong isn't old enough to race yet, but his unconditional support is a tremendous benefit.
I think the biggest difference is having a 2-year-old son. You know, but it's also, it's a balance, it's a juggling act, but it's probably the best thing that's ever happened. I'm a mom first, I'm a cyclist second, but I just know when I walk in those doors from a training ride, no matter how good or bad my day was, my son's smiling because he doesn't know the difference.